Chapter 1. The Boy They Called Trash. Manhwa Recap narration style. Fast pacing, emotional cinematic. The gates of Astra Magic Academy groaned open as a lone boy stepped through the misty courtyard. Students froze mid-conversation before bursting into laughter. Wait, no way, is that him? That's Rylan Howen, the expelled failure. Did he seriously crawl back here after a whole year? Guess trash doesn't know when to stay in the dumpster. Rylan didn't react. His eyes were calm, too calm for someone returning to the place that ruined his life. A noble student walked up with a sneer. You got lost, Howen? The farmer's district is 2 miles south. Rylan simply said, I'm here to re-enroll. That single sentence erupted into chaos. He's delusional. The academy doesn't take back failures. Maybe he hit his head when he ran away. But Rylan didn't run away. 1 year ago, he was dragged unconscious into the forest by bullies, left to die when a mana beast attacked. They never found his body. Because something else found him first. A girl crossed her arms. So? Did you suddenly awaken magic? Rylan met her gaze. Something like that. The nobles howled with laughter. Oh, please, you? Awaken? You couldn't even spark a light orb. Hey, Rylan. What element did you get? Trash affinity? Rylan's jaw tightened a little. That was the only sign he even heard them. Inside the administration hall, Instructor Calden nearly choked when he saw him. You? Rylan Howen? You? You're alive? Apparently, Rylan said softly. Calden rubbed his temples. Why are you here? You were expelled. Permanently expelled. I request reinstatement. The instructor slammed the table. You had 0 elemental affinity. No fire, no frost, no arcane, nothing. The academy cannot waste resources on someone who can't cast a single spell. Rylan replied calmly. Test me. A long, uncomfortable silence followed. You think a year changed anything? Calden snapped. You think you suddenly grew talent? Yes. Calden scoffed, but something in Rylan's eyes made him hesitate. Fine. If you embarrass yourself again, you walk out of this academy forever, understood? Rylan nodded. Understood. Calden activated the mana testing crystal. Place your hand here. Let's see if you still register as magically useless. Students gathered around the open hallway. This is gonna be good. He'll break the crystal again. Last time, it literally rejected him. Prepare the infirmary. He'll probably faint like last time. Rylan slowly placed his hand on the crystal. A deep hum filled the room. The crystal flickered once, twice, then pulsed like a heartbeat. What? It's reacting? No way! That crystal only responds to stable mana signatures. Calden's eyes widened. Impossible! Your mana flow! It's completely changed! The crystal glowed. Not with elemental color, but with a strange shifting light, like shadows moving underwater. What kind of affinity is that? I've never seen anything like it. Is it corrupted? Rylan said nothing. His mind, however, whispered the truth. This isn't an element. This is the shrine's power. The thing that fused with me. Calden swallowed hard. Rylan, what happened to you in that forest? I don't remember. Rylan lied. In truth, he remembered everything. Waking in total darkness. Kneeling before an ancient shrine cracked with arcane symbols. A presence whispering through his skull. Warmth, then agony, as something forced its way into his bones, his veins, his heart. And when he opened his eyes, he was no longer the same. Calden exhaled shakily. Your mana signature qualifies for readmission. But I'll be watching you closely. Rylan nodded. I expected that. The instructor faced the students. Rylan Howen is officially reinstated. The crowd erupted. What? This is insane. How can Trash get back in before half of us? A noble shouted. This isn't fair. He's a nobody, a failure. Another snapped. Test him properly. Let him cast something. Calden raised a hand. Quiet. He turned to Rylan. Can you cast anything now? Rylan hesitated. If he used the shrine's power openly, the world would panic. So he lowered his eyes. Not yet. The students burst into laughter again. I knew it. He still can't cast. What a joke. But Rylan wasn't bothered. Because beneath their mockery, he could feel it. A dormant power swirling quietly in his chest, waiting, growing. I'll show them, he thought. Not yet, but soon. He walked past the crowd, their insults bouncing off him like dust. For the first time in his life, Rylan Howen felt no fear inside Astra Academy, because he knew one thing with absolute certainty. The boy they once called trash was going to rise. Rylan stepped through the academy gates, expression unreadable as whispers immediately surrounded him. Hey, look, he actually came back. He must be insane. Once trash, always trash. He paused for half a heartbeat, then kept walking. But in his eyes, those who mocked him were no longer threats, just walking mana diagrams. Rylan muttered under his breath, "Weak flow, misaligned structure. I could enhance this spell threefold." A group of students overheard. Huh? What did he just say? Probably hallucinating again. Imagine being expelled for having zero talent and still showing up. Rylan ignored them, though his sight sharpened instinctively. Every spell around him peeled open like a blueprint, layer by layer. On the training grounds, Instructor Varen barked, "Prepare yourselves. If your mana formation takes more than 5 seconds, step out." Then he spotted Rylan. His voice dropped. "You? Why are you here?" Students snickered. "Showtime. The comedian is back. Let's see if he can even form a spark today." Rylan approached the group. Varen crossed his arms. "Rylan Howen, state your reason for returning." "I'm simply finishing what I started." "Finishing? You have no element, no affinity, no combat sense? Don't humiliate yourself again." Rylan's voice stayed calm. "I understand my abilities better than before." Varen scoffed. "Abilities? You couldn't even stabilize basic light mana. Stand there and watch how real mages train." A student smirked and cast a flame whip. "Like this, trash. Watch carefully." The moment the whip ignited, Rylan's mind dissected it. The mana nodes, heat compression loops, structural faults. Rylan murmured, "If you correct the third compression angle, the output increases by 2.4 times." The student blinked. "What did you say?" Varen frowned. "Rylan, what are you doing?" Pointing out the flaw in his spell. The entire group burst out laughing. Another student stepped forward, mocking. "You? Analyze our spells? You can't even cast a light orb. Stop pretending." Rylan studied him for 1 second. "Your mana stream tilts left by 2 degrees. When you release your spell, the recoil will hit your own arm." "Huh? Shut up," as if. He cast the spell, and the recoil snapped his arm backward exactly as Rylan predicted. Silence struck the training field. "No way!" He guessed that? He actually predicted the backlash? Varen stepped closer, tension rising. "Rylan, how did you know that?" "I don't know," Rylan answered. "I just see it." "You see mana?" "Yes." Whispers rippled across the field. "That's impossible. That kind of sense isn't normal." "He's lying, right?" Varen narrowed his eyes. "What power did you awaken?" Rylan stepped back slightly. "I don't know, and I have no intention of showing it." A student shouted, "He's bluffing, acting mysterious to get attention." "You're still trash." Rylan looked at them, not angry, just colder. "I don't need any of you to believe me." Nero, one of the top students, stepped in front of him. "Talking big now, huh? Want to prove yourself?" "Duel me." "I'm not interested," Rylan replied. "What's wrong? Scared?" "I just don't want you embarrassing yourself." Gasps exploded around them. Nero's face twisted in anger. He flicked a small flame inches from Rylan's cheek. "Watch your mouth." The instant the flame appeared, Rylan's power activated again, analyzing, copying, perfecting. Rylan stepped forward. "If you insist on attacking me, fix your second compression ring first. If not, you'll burn your own hand." Nero froze. "How do you know that?" "I can see it." Instructor Varen's voice hardened. "Rylan Howen, when did you obtain this ability?" "I have no obligation to answer." "What are you hiding?" Rylan turned away. "I'm not here for trouble. Keep treating me as trash. It makes things easier." A student shouted, "Look at him! Acting cool now? Ridiculous." But Rylan didn't react. Inside his mind, every instructor, every student, even Varen himself, appeared as open mana, schematics exposed, readable, duplicable. Under his sleeve, faint light flickered along his veins. "I must hide this. No one can know. If they find out, I'll be hunted." He drew in a slow breath and walked away, leaving their insults behind. But this time, in each silent step, was the beginning of a plan. A plan to rise above them all. Chapter 3, The Test That Silenced the Class. Mana Measurement Day at Astra Academy was always loud, competitive, and full of ego. But today, the noise doubled the moment Rylan Howen walked into the hall. Whispers shot across the room. Why is he here? Isn't this pointless? He'll score 0 again. He probably came for attention. Rylan ignored all of it. His expression stayed calm, though inside he muttered, "This test, I need to stay hidden, no matter what." Professor Hale clapped his hands. "Line up! We'll test mana capacity first, then affinity density. Don't embarrass yourselves." A noble smirked at Rylan. Too late for that. He was born embarrassing. Rylan didn't look at him. "We'll see." The students scoffed. "Acting confident now? Cute." One by one, students stepped forward. The crystal scanner lit up greens, blues, reds, indicating elemental mana levels. Livia Arcten, mana score 312. Callum Valor, mana score 420. Eris Dawnstar, mana score 499. Cheers and applause echoed. Then the hall fell into silence as Hale called, "Rylan Howen." Snickers erupted immediately. "This is going to be good. Prepare for the legendary score of 0. Should we clap ironically?" Rylan inhaled lightly and placed his hand on the crystal. Instantly, a deep, violent hum surged through the entire hall. Whoom! The crystal scanner turned blinding white, then purple, then pitch-black colors no one had ever seen on it. What the? Is it malfunctioning? Why is it vibrating? The device shook violently, sparks flying. Professor Hale shouted, "Remove your hand! Now!" But the scanner cracked before Rylan could react. Crack! The crystal exploded into fragments, sending a shockwave through the hall. Students screamed. Teachers backed away in shock. Mana threads rippled like a storm. Rylan stepped back instantly, clenching his hand to hide the energy surging through it. Professor Hale stared at the destroyed scanner. This is impossible. This machine measures up to level 700 mana. No student has ever exceeded that. A noble cried out, "It's just broken, obviously defective." Yes! Another chimed in. "He didn't do anything. The machine must have been old." Rylan kept quiet, though his thoughts raced. "That wasn't even my full output. The shrine's power keeps growing." Professor Lyra stormed over. "Test him again, different device." "No," Rylan said quickly. "If it malfunctioned once, it might overload again." Students snorted. "Hear that? He's scared because the second test will show his true score 0. He's trying to run." Professor Hale rubbed his forehead. "We need a manual reading, then." "Rylan, extend your mana. Just a little." Rylan froze. If he revealed even a fraction of the shrine-enhanced mana inside him, the entire room would know he wasn't normal. "I can't let them see this. Not yet." He put a hand to his chest and faked a cough. "Professor, I haven't recovered fully from last year's injury. My mana flow is unstable." Hale blinked. "You mean the forest incident?" Students rolled their eyes. Here comes the excuses. Rylan bowed slightly. "Please, I request a postponed reading. I don't want to cause another accident." His tone was so calm, so measured, that even the instructors hesitated. Professor Lyra whispered, "I felt something from him, just for an instant. That wasn't a glitch." Professor Hale nodded slowly. "Very well, we'll allow a temporary score placeholder." The nobles immediately protested. "What? That's favoritism. He should get a 0. He's hiding something." Rylan simply said, "Believe whatever you want." But Hale wasn't convinced. He studied Rylan's eyes, voice quiet. "You're different from before." Rylan didn't reply. As students left the hall, dozens of whispers followed him. Did he really break the scanner? No way he has that much mana. But I saw it explode. What if he actually awakened something? A noble girl scoffed loudly. "Rylan Howen? Strong? Don't make me laugh." But another student murmured, "I heard the scanner only breaks if someone exceeds 700. That's impossible." Is it? Rylan walked through the crowd, expression unreadable, though inside he felt a cold, sharp clarity. They still don't understand. Good, that keeps me safe. At the doorway, two instructors spoke softly. Hail. Should we report this to the headmaster? Lyra. Not yet. If the boy truly awakens something abnormal, we need to observe him quietly. Rylan paused just long enough to hear it before stepping outside. He breathed in slowly. Step 1. Complete. Stay unnoticed. Grow quietly. Then, rise. Rumors spread like wildfire by evening. Rylan returned stronger. He might have awakened a secret element. No, he's hiding something huge. For the first time in his life, people weren't laughing at Rylan Howen. They were afraid of him. Chapter 4, Destroying the Academy Bully. The academy courtyard was packed, students climbing railings, sitting on walls, whispering like vultures, waiting to feast. Because today, the academy bully, Arvin Crestfall, had challenged the trash who somehow returned, Rylan Howen. Arvin's laughter echoed across the arena. Rylan, I thought you died in the forest. What a disappointment. I wanted to kill you myself. Rylan stepped into the arena calmly, hands in pockets. I'm not here for theatrics, Arvin. Let's get this over with. Gasps spread instantly. Did he just talk back to Arvin? He must have a death wish. He's still pretending he's strong after that broken machine stunt? Arvin smirked, flames crackling around his fingers. Oh, I'll end this quickly. Try not to cry. Students cheered viciously. Burn him, Arven. Show the trash where he belongs. Even instructors stood at the back, whispering. Rylan shouldn't have accepted. He has no elemental affinity. This is suicide. Rylan simply thought. Perfect. If I want to hide my true ability, this fight has to look effortless, yet untraceable. Arvin raised his hand dramatically. Royal flame ignition burst. A wave of crimson fire roared across the arena, distorting the air, drawing screams from the crowd. Rylan didn't move. Arvin laughed. Still frozen? Pathetic. But right before the flames reached him, Rylan murmured, Copy. Mana patterns unfolded inside his vision, intricate circuits, elemental nodes, ignition arcs. Flame magic of Tier 2, child's play. He raised a single finger. F-woom. The exact same flame surged out, but twice as dense, twice as bright, twice as deadly. Arvin's smile vanished. W. Wait, what? Rylan flicked his wrist. Boom! His amplified flame swallowed Arvin's attack whole, shredding it apart like paper. The explosion shook the courtyard. Students screamed, running for cover as heat waves rolled across the arena. Dust settled. Arvin lay on the ground, coughing blood, his hair burnt, robes torn. Everyone froze. He countered it? No, it wasn't a counter. He overpowered Arvin's flame. But Rylan doesn't even have an element. Arvin struggled to stand, fear trembling in his voice. How? How did you copy my spell? That's impossible. Only Crestfall nobles can wield royal flame. Rylan walked toward him slowly. I didn't copy your flame, Arvin. Arvin's eyes widened. I improved it. A ripple of shock tore through the crowd. Impossible. He's lying. No one can just improve another mage's spell. Arvin screamed, desperate. You freak, you cheated. Magic doesn't work like that. Rylan looked down at him, expression unreadable. You don't understand your own spells. That's not my problem. Arvin roared in frustration, throwing a second attack. Royal Flame Crimson Spear. Rylan sighed softly. Copy. Amplify. He raised his palm. A colossal spear of dark red flame materialized far sharper, far hotter than Arvin's version. Arvin's voice broke. No, 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 stop. Rylan sent it into the ground beside Arvin, carving a burning trench mere inches from his throat. Boom! The spectators fell silent, utterly petrified. Arvin collapsed backward, limbs shaking uncontrollably. I yield! I yield! Rylan turned away without looking at him. This wasn't training, it was a warning. Stop wasting my time. The arena exploded into whispers. He defeated Arvin in 2 strikes. He didn't even chant. He just copied the spell by looking at it? What monster comes back from expulsion stronger than nobles? Rylan walked past a group of instructors. They stepped aside instinctively. Professor Hale whispered to Lyra, "Did you feel it? The mana he used wasn't elemental. It was something else." Lyra nodded, eyes narrowing. That wasn't flame magic. It was reconstructed energy. He's hiding something far bigger. Behind them, Arvin screamed, "Don't let him leave. He's a fraud, a demon. No normal mage can do that." No one moved. No one helped him. Silence replaced mockery. Fear replaced arrogance. And as Rylan left the arena, dozens of students whispered the same words. That wasn't the trash boy. That wasn't even human-level magic. He's dangerous. Rylan didn't smile. He didn't gloat. He simply walked, hands in pockets, eyes cold. Step 2. Complete. The Academy finally understands one thing. I am not the same boy they expelled. And for the first time, fear followed him like a shadow. Chapter 5. The Girl Who Sees Mana. Lysette had always seen what others couldn't. Mana vision, an ability so rare the Academy treated her like a living detector. She hated the attention, but today her eyes were fixed on only one person, Rylan Howen. She whispered to herself, "Why is his mana wrong?" From across the courtyard, Rylan felt her stare and stiffened. Mana vision? Troublesome. He turned away, trying to blend into the crowd, but Lysette stepped directly into his path. "Rylan, stop avoiding me." He froze. "I'm not avoiding you. I'm just busy." "Busy hiding something?" she shot back. Students around them slowed down, pretending not to eavesdrop. Rylan narrowed his eyes. "You didn't see anything." Lysette leaned closer, voice low. "Your mana isn't elemental. It doesn't match any known affinity. It behaves like pure structure." Rylan's heart pounded once, sharply. She saw it. Mana vision can detect patterns, not just volume. Damn. He forced a casual tone. "You're imagining things." Lysette crossed her arms. "Then why did the scanner explode yesterday?" "Faulty device." "Why did you mimic Arvin's flame spell perfectly?" "Coincidence." "Why does your mana twist itself into shapes I can't even classify?" "Talent," he lied. She stared at him intense, unblinking her pupils, glowing faintly blue as she activated mana vision again. Rylan quickly stepped back. "Stop looking at me with that ability." "I can't," she said softly. "Your mana pulls my eyes to it. It's unlike anything I've ever seen." Rylan clenched his fists. "If she keeps analyzing me, she'll expose everything." "I can't let that happen." He turned to leave. "Rylan, wait." He ignored her. But then, Lysette suddenly gasped. "You're doing it again." Rylan froze mid-step. "Doing what?" She pointed at his hand. "You just copied Professor Hale's barrier spell perfectly. You're not even looking at the chalkboard." Several students turned. Wait, did he just cast the same spell? No way he memorized the formula that fast. He wasn't even paying attention. Rylan clicked his tongue. Shh. Lysette approached, her voice shaking with excitement, not fear. "Rylan, you're reconstructing spells without an elemental base. You're not using fire, water, air, nothing. You're manipulating the raw mana architecture." Rylan looked away. "Whether I can or can't doesn't matter. Keep quiet." "I won't report you," she whispered. "Why not?" "Because..." Lysette exhaled, meeting his gaze with surprising gentleness. "Because someone with your ability shouldn't be alone." Rylan's jaw tightened. "I need to be alone. The Academy already hates me. If they find out what I can do, they'll fear you," she finished. "But fear isn't always bad." He glared. "You don't understand." "I understand perfectly." Her tone sharpened. "You're scared your power will paint a target on your back." Rylan moved his hand, subtly mana-shaping, around his fingertips, ready to silence her if needed. Lysette noticed instantly. "You're preparing a suppression spell on me?" "Reflex," he muttered. "No." She stepped closer. "That's control. And fear. And loneliness." Rylan's breath hitched. How much can she see with those eyes? Lysette lowered her voice. "I don't want to expose you. I want to work with you." "Why?" he asked quietly. "Because Manavision isn't just for measuring power. I can see potential. And yours." She shivered. "Yours is terrifyingly vast." Rylan said nothing, expression unreadable. She continued. "You've returned stronger. People are afraid. But I see something different. You're not a weapon. You're a breakthrough." Rylan scoffed gently. Breakthroughs get dissected in laboratories, not if someone stands beside you. He looked away, shoulders tense. Damn it, why is she persistent? Collaboration means attention. Attention means risk. Lysette suddenly grabbed his wrist. Ryland's eyes widened. Let go. Not until you answer me honestly. She leaned in. Your ability? What is it? Ryland whispered. I don't know yet. The truth startled her more than any lie. He continued, voice low. I only know that it's dangerous, and the more people know, the more enemies I'll attract. Lysette smiled faintly. Then let me help you manage it. I don't need help. You do, she insisted, because your isolation is already cracking. People are watching you, professors, nobles, and soon, the council. Ryland swallowed hard. She stepped back, offering her hand. Let me be your ally, Ryland. The courtyard fell completely silent as students realized something important was happening. Ryland stared at her hand. An ally? Or another chain around my throat? Finally, he spoke. If you betray me... Lysette smirked. You'll dismantle my mana structure and erase me from existence? Ryland blinked. You're awfully calm about that. Because I know you won't. Her eyes softened. You're not a monster, Ryland. You're just trying to survive. For the first time, he hesitated and took her hand. Lysette smiled. Good. Then our partnership begins now. Ryland exhaled slowly, realizing a new truth. He could no longer rise alone. Chapter 6. Magic, Lost to Time. The Spellbreak Ruins, once a cradle of forgotten magic, now loomed before the Astra Academy expedition team. Most students trembled with excitement. Only one walked with quiet calculation, Ryland Howen. Professor Dorian raised his staff. Listen up. The ruins distort mana. Stay close, don't provoke anything. And a thunderous roar cut him off. Students screamed as a massive creature crawled out from the broken temple pillars, its body warped, mana swirling violently through translucent muscles. Professor Dorian blanched. A spell-twisted alpha beast? That shouldn't even exist anymore. Panic spread immediately. It's huge. Why is its mana density so high? We're dead. Someone call for backup. Ryland narrowed his eyes. Its mana structure. It's mutating in real time. Interesting. Lysette whispered urgently. Ryland, don't engage that thing. Even elite mages can't subdue an alpha. I'm not planning to fight, Ryland said. I'm planning to learn. The beast lunged at the nearest student, claws crackling with corrosive mana. Professor Dorian shouted, Barrier, now! He cast a golden shield, but the beast's claws tore through it effortlessly. What? That barrier can withstand meteor-class spells. Ryland stepped forward quietly. Lysette grabbed his sleeve. Ryland, stop! What are you doing? Look at its mana circulation, Ryland muttered. The flow isn't chaotic, it's patterned. Lysette activated mana vision and gasped. That's a biological spell pattern? Animals can't construct spell matrices. Mutated beasts can, Ryland replied. And this one's using its body as a spell engine. Isistinated different nose with crossed of the general. The creature roared again and fired a wave of corrosive mana straight toward the expedition team. Students screamed and ducked. Professor Dorian raised another barrier. I can't block that move. Then a voice cut through the chaos. Mana mirror, reconstruction. Everyone turned. Ryland extended one hand, calm, measured, confident. A translucent pattern formed in the air, replicating the beast's mana pulse perfectly. Lysette gasped. He's copying the attack? No, Ryland whispered. I'm improving it. His reconstructed spell snapped into alignment cleaner, tighter, more efficient than the beast's clumsy mutation. Ryland flicked his fingers. Counter cascade. His spell collided with the incoming attack and shattered it like brittle glass. The shockwave blasted outward harmlessly. Silence fell over the ruins. Students stared with jaws hanging open. Professor Dorian's voice cracked. How did you do that? That isn't elemental magic. That isn't even modern magic. Ryland shrugged slightly. I analyzed its attack pattern. That beast's spell pattern? Dorian practically choked. Such analysis takes entire research teams years. The beast roared in fury, charging again. Ryland sighed. Persistent. Lysette grabbed his arm. Ryland, wait. If you copy its physical spell, your body might not withstand. Ryland smiled faintly. Good thing I'm not copying it. He lifted his hand, mana forming a new structure, smooth, elegant, flawless. What are you doing? She asked. Fixing it. The beast swung a mana-coated claw. Students screamed. Rylan stepped in front of the attack. Professor Dorian shouted, panicked, "You'll die." Rylan whispered, "Reversal pulse." All gestured. A circular shockwave formed at his palm, soft, almost gentle. Before detonating outward, the beast froze mid-strike. Cracks of light spread across its body. Then, boom! The alpha exploded into motes of harmless mana dust. Complete silence. No one moved. No one breathed. Finally, a trembling student whispered, "H." He erased an alpha beast. Another added, "In one hit." A third stammered, "What even is his magic?" Professor Dorian approached Rylan slowly, eyes wide. "That counterspell. I've never seen anything like it. What affinity is that? What technique?" Rylan glanced at him, expression blank. "Just instinct." "Instinct?" the professor shrieked. "Do you know what you just did? That spell structure wasn't elemental, it was pre-Arcane era. Lost magic. Impossible magic." Rylan only walked past him. Lysette hurried after him. "Rylan, why didn't you tell me you could analyze biological spells too?" "I didn't know," Rylan admitted, "until just now." "You learned it on the spot?" "Pretty much." Lysette stared at him in horror and fascination. "You're treating forbidden spell architecture like a casual math problem." Rylan didn't answer. He didn't need to, because everywhere he walked, students stepped aside. Not out of mockery, but fear. Whispers spread instantly. He beat a mutated alpha. He copied ancient magic. He might be stronger than the professors. What? Is he becoming? Rylan ignored it all, though a faint smile touched his lips. So this is what it feels like. Not to hide my power, but to let it speak for me. His reputation didn't just rise, it detonated. And the Academy? It would never see him as trash again. Chapter 7. The Council begins to suspect. Rumors move faster than mana itself. By morning, every corridor in Astra Academy buzzed with one name, Rylan Howen. Did you hear? He reconstructed a mutated Alpha Beast's spell. That's impossible. Only the Magic Council's archmages can do that. No, even they can't. Rylan walked past the whispers without reacting. Though inside he muttered, "This is becoming annoying." Before he reached class, Professor Arcane stepped into his path. "Rylan Howen, the council has summoned you." Rylan raised an eyebrow. "For what?" "You know exactly why." Arcane's tone sharpened. "No student should be capable of the magic you displayed." "Then maybe your expectations are too low," Rylan replied calmly. Arcane's jaw clenched. "Watch your tongue, boy." Lysette hurried over, eyes wide. "Professor, you can't just drag him in. He didn't break any academy rules." Arcane's glare cut through her. Magic that defies elemental law is by definition suspicious. Rylan sighed. "If I wanted to hurt the academy, don't you think I would have done it in the ruins?" Arcane stiffened but didn't answer. A council guard arrived. "Rylan Howen, you are to appear before the council hall immediately." Rylan whispered to Lysette. "Stay back. Don't interfere." She grabbed his sleeve. "How can I not? They're afraid of you, Rylan. Fear makes people irrational." He met her eyes briefly. "I'll handle it." The council hall shimmered with layers of barrier spells, ancient magic, rigid and oppressive. Inside, 6 senior counselors examined Rylan like he was a specimen on a table. Counselor Thurin began. "Rylan Howen, you demonstrated analysis-type magic in the Spellbreak ruins. This school does not teach such a discipline." Rylan replied evenly. "I didn't claim it did." Counselor Mara leaned forward. "Analysis magic died out centuries ago. Anyone practicing it now is either a relic thief or something far more dangerous." Rylan kept his tone dry. "Or maybe I'm just competent." Murmurs erupted. "Arrogant. He mocks us. He's hiding something." Theron struck his staff. "Explain how you replicated a creature's biologically generated spell." Rylan shrugged. "I looked at it." "You looked at it?" Mara repeated incredulously. "Beasts produce unstable mana. Even trained researchers can't visualize those structures." "That sounds like their problem," Rylan said. A wave of hostility filled the room. Counselor Rhine narrowed his gaze. "Your ability resembles pre-arcane analysis techniques. Those methods were forbidden. Too powerful. Too unpredictable. Too corrupting." Rylan smiled faintly. "If you're trying to intimidate me, you'll need more than dramatic pauses." Gasps filled the chamber. Theron slammed his staff again. "Enough. Boy, Powers like yours do not appear naturally. So, I will ask one last time. What are you? Rylan let silence hang for a moment. Then he answered, a student. Counselors exchanged uneasy looks. Mara whispered, he's lying. Ryan muttered, he must be contained. Theron nodded grimly. For the safety of the academy. The door burst open. Lysette stormed inside. You can't do this. Theron glared. This is a restricted meeting. I don't care, Lysette cried. Rylan saved everyone in the ruins. You should be thanking him, not treating him like a criminal, Mara snapped. His magic is unnatural. I-9, the bettered send a... Lysette stepped in front of Rylan. Unnatural doesn't mean dangerous, and if you think it does, then you clearly don't understand magic at all. Whispers spread among the council members. Ryan hissed. Girl, you dare insult the council. Yes, she shouted, because you're acting out of fear, not logic. Rylan whispered, Lysette. Stop. She turned to him, frustration burning in her eyes. Why aren't you defending yourself? Because it won't matter, Rylan said quietly. They decided their verdict before I walked in. Theron raised his hand. Guards, detain Howen for observation. If his magic proves dangerous... Rylan chuckled softly. You really think you can detain me? A heavy tension filled the hall. Mana swirled faintly around Rylan, not aggressive, but undeniably powerful. Instinctive, controlled, Theron recoiled slightly. You dare threaten the council? No, Rylan replied, but if you try to cage me, you won't like the result. Mara whispered, terrified. His aura, it's analyzing us. Lysette gasped. Rylan, your eyes. Rylan blinked. His vision had shifted unconsciously, mana threads weaving themselves around every counselor, revealing flaws in their barriers, weak points in their arts. So this power is evolving on its own. Great! Theron straightened his robes, trying to regain authority. This meeting is adjourned, but understand this. How your steps will be watched. Rylan smirked. You're welcome to watch. Just don't trip trying to keep up. Lysette dragged him out before the council exploded again. In the hallway, she whispered, Rylan, they're scared of you. They won't stop. He nodded calmly. I know. What will you do? Rylan gazed down the long corridor, where shadows twisted like threads of fate forming around him. Plan, he said. Before they spring the trap, they think I don't see. But he saw it. He saw all of it. And the academy had no idea what kind of storm they had just provoked. Chapter 8. An offer from the shadows. Rylan noticed it the moment he stepped outside the academy gates. The air shifted. Someone was watching. A voice drifted from behind a broken statue. Rylan Howen, you hid your abilities well. Rylan didn't bother turning. If you know my name, then step out properly. I'm not in the mood for theatrics. From the shadows emerged 3 figures wearing black masks engraved with ancient symbols. Their leader bowed slightly. We represent the Veil, an organization that preserves magic older than kingdoms. And you have awakened something that should not exist. Rylan's eyes narrowed. Then you know more than the academy does. We know enough, the leader said. Enough to understand that your analysis-type power predates elemental magic. It once belonged to the first scholars mages who could break down any spell, any beast, any mana structure, and rewrite it. Rylan remained silent, but inside, his thoughts churned. First scholars? Rewrite magic? The leader extended a black sigil shaped like a crescent. Join us. Learn the truth of what you hold. In return, you will serve the Veil. Rylan smirked. No! The masked man tilted his head. No? I don't trust strangers who hide their faces, Rylan said, and I don't take orders from anyone. A heartbeat of silence. Then the leader sighed. Test him. 2 assassins vanished from sight. Lysette, who had been waiting down the path, shouted, Rylan, behind you! Shadow blades slashed toward him fast enough to kill any normal mage. Rylan didn't flinch. Pathetic. Mana threads spiraled around his fingers as he murmured, Mirror pattern. Disperse. And bye-bye, dull. The blades broke apart midair like dust. One assassin gasped. He countered without even analyzing. Rylan's hands shot forward, forming a reconstructed version of their own assassination spell. Your void step technique? Sloppy. His spell detonated under their feet, forcing both assassins into the open. Lysette ran to him, panicked. You can't fight them alone. They're augmented killers. Rylan shrugged. Then they should have brought more. The leader raised 2 fingers. A barrage of silent blades, crushing force waves, and mana disruptors tore through the night. The Veil wasn't holding back. They were dissecting him. Rylan smiled faintly. Good. Show me more. Copy. Enhance. Every attack they launched, he reconstructed instantly, then returned stronger. The assassins panicked. What kind of monster? He's adapting faster than we can cast. Rylan appeared behind one of them. A pulse of refined mana sharper than any elemental spell sent both assassins crashing into a wall. Lysette grabbed Rylan's arm. Stop! If you kill them, the council will hunt you. They started this, Rylan muttered. But you're proving them right. Rylan hesitated only a moment long enough for the leader to speak again. Incredible. The rumors underestimated you. You possess the purest form of the first scholar's legacy. Rylan's expression darkened. Legacy? Don't speak in riddles. The leader stepped closer. Your power comes from a line of forgotten mages who understood mana at its root. They were erased from history because they were too dangerous. A single scholar could dismantle entire armies. And you are their heir. Rylan felt something twist inside him. Erased? Why? By who? Lysette whispered. Rylan, this is bad. They know too much. The leader extended the sigil again. Accept our offer, or every kingdom, every church, every council will eventually hunt you. You cannot face the world alone. Rylan stared at the sigil for a long moment. Then he said, I already gave my answer. The leader exhaled. Unfortunate. The assassins rose again, badly injured but obedient. They prepared another strike. Rylan whispered, Lysette, step behind me. She shook her head. No, I won't leave you. He sighed. Fine. Rylan lifted his hand. Mana surged dense, controlled, terrifyingly precise. Final warning, he said quietly. Leave. The leader studied him, Rylan's eyes glowing with analytical mana, dissecting every spell in their bodies. Retreat, the leader ordered. We've seen enough. The assassins vanished like smoke. Lysette fell to her knees. Rylan, this isn't just academy politics anymore. These people, they kill nations. Rylan calmly dusted off his uniform. Then they'll have to stand in line. Rylan. Lysette grabbed his sleeve again. You don't understand. The Veil doesn't approach people, they target them. This means your power, your life, is tied to something huge, something dangerous. Rylan looked back at the dark path where the assassins had disappeared. I know, he said softly, and that's why I need to get stronger faster. Lysette's voice trembled. But at this rate, the entire continent will come for you. Rylan smirked. Then let them come. For the first time, Lysette felt fear not of him, but for him. Because tonight confirmed one truth. Rylan Howen's rise would not stay within the academy walls. A storm had begun, and the world was already too late to stop it. Chapter 9. The Bloodshed Battle Exam. The survival arena roared with cheers as students gathered around the colossal battlefield stone pillars, mana traps, shifting terrain. The academy's most brutal exam had begun, and nearly every team had the same target. Rylan Howen. Look at him, one noble sneered, walking in alone like he's some prodigy. Easy bonus points, another laughed. He'll be the first to drop. Rylan ignored them, stepping into the arena with hands in his pockets. So this is how they want to play it. Fine. The proctor's voice boomed. Begin! Immediately, 5 teams rushed toward him, spells crackling. Rylan Howen, you're dead. Stack elemental volleys. Crush him fast. Firestorms, wind blades, compressed earth bullets. Dozens of spells converged. Rylan sighed. Too predictable. He whispered, copy. Rebroadcast. Instantly, the exact same barrage, all of it reflected back with double intensity. What? He used our spells against us. Impossible. Mirror magic isn't that fast. The teams scattered, screaming as their own attacks exploded around them. Lysette, watching from the stands, grabbed the railing. He's analyzing multiple spells simultaneously, even faster than before. Below, Rylan walked through dust clouds and collapsed students. Anyone else? 3 more teams charged. Bind him. Use anti-analysis interference. He's just one guy. Rylan smirked, then stopped talking, and try. One mage unleashed a high-tier lightning arc. Rylan pointed lazily. Nice, I'll take that. His fingers traced the glowing structure in the air analysis made visible. Recode lightning. Overload. A massive surge shot back, knocking the mage unconscious instantly. Two others tried flanking him with synchronized elemental fusion flame plus wind. Hybrid spells? Rylan muttered. Interesting, but sloppy. He snapped his fingers. Spell break. Their fusion unraveled mid-air, imploding in a shockwave. How is he doing that? That's ancient sorcery. Rylan tilted his head. Nope. Just good eyesight. But while students panicked, something darker moved above them, figures cloaked in shadow. Members of the Veil had infiltrated the arena. Lysette noticed first. Rylan! Up above! Too late. A black bolt pierced the ground where Rylan stood. Arena guards shouted, "Unauthorized mana signature! Battle exam compromised!" The air turned cold as a masked assassin appeared on a broken pillar. Rylan Howen. You were warned. Rylan's eyes sharpened. You again? Students backed away in terror. Why are outsiders here? Is someone targeting him? The assassin flicked his wrist blades, a void mana launched toward Rylan. Rylan countered instantly. Analyze, rewrite, return. The blades dissolved and shot back threefold. The assassin dodged, landing gracefully. You've grown, but still far below what we require. Rylan clicked his tongue. You really shouldn't have come during an exam. Two more Veil assassins dropped from the ceiling, surrounding him. Lysette yelled, Rylan, run! They're not after points. They're here to kill you. The spectators screamed as the assassins lunged. Rylan whispered, Fine, you want to see something real? He planted his foot. The arena trembled. Mana core partial release. A ring of invisible force blasted outward, blowing back assassins and students alike. The proctor stumbled, shouting, What? What rank is this boy? Rylan walked through spiraling mana distortions, eyes glowing with patterns. The lead assassin steadied himself. He's tapping into forbidden analysis levels, beyond human control. Good, Rylan said, because I'm done holding back. He raised his hand, mana forming thousands of microlines. Students watched in disbelief. He's rewriting the arena's entire spell system. That's illegal magic. No, this is something else. Rylan locked on to the assassins. Let's finish this, all of you at once. The assassins roared and unleashed their strongest attacks. Void Rupture, Shadowbind, Curse Spikes. Rylan replicated all three in seconds. Copy. Enhance. Overload. His spell collided with theirs, erasing everything in a blinding burst. When the dust cleared, all three assassins lay defeated, breathing but immobilized. The arena fell silent. Rylan exhaled. Next time you want to test me, send someone stronger. Lysette sprinted to him. Rylan, you revealed too much. The council saw everything. The Veil saw everything. This wasn't just an exam, this was a battlefield. Rylan shrugged. Then I guess I passed. The proctor stared at him in horror. Rylan Howen, your power exceeds the Academy's ranking system entirely. Whispers spread across the Colosseum like wildfire. He's a monster. No, he's a genius. He beat assassins and half the examinees alone. But Rylan didn't smile. He simply looked at his hands, still trembling with released mana. That wasn't even 10%. If I use more, I might not control it. Lysette touched his arm gently. Rylan, what are you becoming? He didn't answer, because even he wasn't sure anymore. But one thing was clear. The Academy's bloodshed battle exam had ended with a new terror on the rise, and his name was Rylan Howen. Chapter 10, Return of the Ancient Art. The battlefield was already shaking from the earlier clashes, but when Rylan stopped moving, truly stopped, everyone felt something shift. Even the assassins froze, sensing the air twist unnaturally around him. Rylan whispered, If simple analysis isn't enough, then let's evolve it. Students stared in confusion. Evolve? What is he talking about? That's not how magic works. He's bluffing, right? Lysette's eyes widened. No, he's not bluffing. I can see the mana lines. They're changing. Rylan lifted his hand. Analysis. Version 2. Structural merge. His mana surged upward, fracturing the air like glass. The lead assassin panicked. Stop him! Do not let him complete that spell! Shadow blades shot forward dozens, then hundreds. Rylan didn't dodge. He muttered, Copy, combine, rewrite. The blades dissolved instantly. Their structures ripped apart mid-air. What, he just dismantled void magic? That's impossible. Rylan spread his fingers. Mana circuits spun around his arm like glowing gears. Hybrid magic, sequence 1. A sphere formed half lightning, half spatial distortion, threaded with fire runes, and reinforced with earth compression. The assassin screamed. Hybrid magic? That art was lost 5,000 years ago. Rylan didn't even blink. Let's test it. He fired. The blast tore the entire battlefield apart. The arena floor split open. Pillars collapsed. Students were thrown back like ragdolls. Even the barrier around the arena flickered violently. Lysette shielded her face. Rylan, what did you just do? He lowered his hand slowly, breathing heavily. A spell type that shouldn't exist. A spell no one alive should be able to create. The proctors scrambled to their feet. Shut down the arena! Evacuate the students! Call the council now! Chaos erupted. One professor shouted, That boy isn't a mage! He's a threat to the kingdom! Another yelled, Hybrid magic is sealed by royal decree. Arrest him at once! Rylan frowned. Figures. You didn't even ask how I learned it. Lysette ran to him, grabbing his arm. Rylan, listen to me. The Magic Council just issued an emergency order. They're coming to take you. If they capture you, you'll never see daylight again. Rylan looked at her quietly. Seal me away in some underground vault, you mean? That's exactly what they'll do. Lysette snapped. Ancient powers scare them more than monsters do. You need to run. But Rylan shook his head. The assassins rose shakily, still stunned by the destruction. You completed hybrid magic on your first try, the leader rasped. You're not human, Rylan glared. I'm human enough to know when I'm being hunted. Above them, the sky dimmed. Massive council sigils formed overhead, ready to activate a sealing formation. Students panicked. They're really going to arrest him, but he saved us. No, he's too dangerous. Council mages appeared on floating platforms, robes fluttering. Rylan Howen, the High Inquisitor, announced, You have violated magical law by wielding forbidden arts. Surrender peacefully. Rylan raised an eyebrow. Peacefully? After you dropped a sealing net on my head? The Inquisitor's eyes narrowed. Do not make this difficult. Lysette tugged his sleeve desperately. Please, Rylan, don't fight them. Just escape. He turned to her, voice soft. If I run today, I'll run forever, and I'm done living like that. She froze, speechless. Rylan stepped forward, facing the council directly. If you want to judge me, then do it while I'm standing, not while I'm hiding. The Inquisitor frowned. Very well. Begin containment. Mana chains formed in the air, shooting toward him. Lysette screamed. Rylan, move! He didn't. Chains wrapped around his wrists, then shattered instantly. Gasps echoed across the arena. He broke council seals? No one can do that. What is he? Rylan exhaled. Your seals aren't calibrated for someone with my structure analysis. Let me show you what I mean. He raised his hand, touching the glowing chain fragments in midair. Analysis, penetration, inversion. The chains twisted, rewriting themselves into a harmless mist. The Inquisitor stumbled back. He altered our formation? Rylan met his gaze coldly. If you truly want to understand what I am, come closer. But no one did. Lysette stepped beside him, trembling but determined. If you take him, you take me too. The arena fell silent. Rylan blinked, stunned. Lysette? Why? Because you're not a monster, she whispered. You're just someone the world doesn't understand yet. Rylan stared at the council at their fear. Their hesitation. He clenched his fists. If the world wants to treat me like an ancient calamity, then maybe it's time I stop pretending to be weak. He took one step forward. The council took 3 steps back. And in that moment, everyone realized the boy they once called trash now wielded a power older than history, and nothing could stop his rise. Chapter 12. The legend truly begins. Whispers spread across Astra Academy like wildfire. Students peeked from balconies. Professors murmured in shaken circles, and knights exchanged nervous glances. The courtyard where Rylan erased every spell had become sacred ground, proof that the boy once labeled trash now stood beyond anything the Academy had ever seen. Rylan walked through the halls quietly, but every footstep triggered a wave of hushed voices. Is that really him? After yesterday, how are we supposed to treat him? He erased council-level magic. Who does that? Rylan ignored them, but inside, his thoughts churned. They still don't get it. I'm not here to be worshipped or feared. A familiar voice called out. Rylan! Lysette hurried toward him, breathless. The council summoned you! Again, he sighed. Let me guess they finally decided whether to arrest me or study me like some ancient relic? Lysette shook her head. No, they changed their approach. Before he could respond, the headmaster himself stepped forward, flanked by two senior council members. Rylan Howen, the headmaster said, bowing slightly, something he had never done before. We request your presence in the grand chamber. Rylan frowned. You request it now, not order? One council mage cleared his throat. After yesterday's demonstration, ordering you seems unwise. Lysette elbowed him sharply, whispering, Don't antagonize them. Rylan followed them into the chamber, where holographic runes circled a council table glowing with ancient magic. The Grand Magister rose. Rylan Howen, after thorough analysis, we acknowledge that your ability represents a new branch of magic. One never recorded in history. Rylan raised an eyebrow. And what does that have to do with me? We wish to appoint you, the Magister announced, as the founding heir of the discipline of analysis magic. Rylan stared in disbelief. Let me get this straight. You expelled me, called me trash, and now you want to make me the face of a new magical field? Several council members flinched. One spoke carefully. Your power is evolution, a path forward for human magic. Rylan laughed quiet, sharp. No, my power came from your ignorance. Their faces tightened. Lysette stepped beside him. Rylan, maybe hear them out first? He turned to her. Do you really think they're doing this out of respect? They're scared. They're trying to contain me with titles. The Magister stiffened. We do not fear you. Rylan stepped closer, eyes piercing. You locked down the academy. You brought knights. You tried to seal me. Don't lie. Silence fell. Finally, a younger professor spoke timidly. Rylan, we misjudged you. The world is changing, and you are part of that change. Rylan inhaled slowly. His voice softened, not gentle, but controlled. I'm not interested in titles, or thrones, or becoming your puppet, Lysette whispered. Then, what are you interested in? Rylan looked around the room, gaze sharp as a blade. Progress. Real progress. Magic has stagnated for centuries. You cling to old rules because they're comfortable. He spread his fingers as mana folded around him in geometric patterns. Even the council gasped. My ability isn't just analysis. It evolves magic, rewrites it, reinvents it. There's a pulley's life, the Christian. The Magister swallowed. Then, what is your answer? Rylan turned away, cloak brushing the marble floor. My answer is simple. I'll reshape the magical world my own way. Lysette blinked. So, you're refusing their offer? Refusing? Rylan smirked. I'm surpassing it. He walked toward the chamber doors, but paused. If you want to help evolution, then stop trying to cage it. The headmaster bowed again. Rylan, whatever path you choose, know that Astra Academy no longer views you as trash. Rylan eyed him calmly. Good, because I'm done accepting anyone's labels. Lysette hurried after him as he left the chamber. Rylan, wait up! He slowed his pace. Yeah? She smiled softly. Whatever you choose to become, I'll stand with you. Rylan looked away, hiding the warmth flickering in his eyes. Thank you, but this path won't be easy. Then it's perfect, she grinned. I hate easy. For the first time, Rylan let out a genuine laugh. As they stepped outside, students watched in awe. Knights lowered their weapons. Professors whispered his name, not with scorn, but with respect. Rylan inhaled the crisp morning air. This is just the beginning. He looked up at the academy towers, once symbols of his humiliation. Now, they were his starting point. He whispered to himself, I'll rebuild magic from the ground up, and the world will remember my name. And as Rylan walked forward, Lysette at his side, the academy felt it. A legend wasn't being born. A legend had already begun. If you'd like, I can write chapter 13, refine the tone, or build a full series outline.